Yeah, so we've both been busy with our stuff going on, and as you can see, we both have our favorite shirts on today.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd just cover that because you guys are probably wondering why are they wearing the same shirt?
Well, with this COVID and everything else, and like the stores are hard to get into. You have limited clothing choices apparently. So but you know what? The coffee's different.
Oh yeah. Have you been buying a lot more stuff online?
You know what? I find that online purchasing definitely is something that's gone up. And the other thing that I'll say is because I like playing video games.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was very resistant to buying digital copies of games.
Okay.
Not that I really had a problem with it, but I've always been a fan of having a physical copy of something.
Yeah.
But then a couple of games that I wanted to play came out during the lockout period, so it's like, you know what? I could either wait until stores opened up, or I could buy it online. And so, I ended up buying them online, and you know what? I'll tell you, for all the places that are hurting right now for business, and I think we kind of touched on this a little bit in the last podcast, but any place that has either online access or takeout as far as like restaurants and that are concerned, they're cleaning up.
Yeah.
The ones that are really suffer, like the one as far as like restaurants are concerned, that I would think they would really suffer right now is a buffet.
Oh,
like if you're a buffet,
you're done.
You're done.
Yeah.
Because I can't picture any scenario where they would.
I was gonna say like with with the online stuff. Okay. Almost every day now, and it not that like I didn't used to buy online crazy stuff and stuff like that, but. Every single day there's a truck outside my house. It's either FedEx or UPS or Canada. Somebody's always here. And even a couple of U-Haul trucks stopped and I'm like, what's going on? And it's a delivery truck. I don't know what happened, but I've seen U-Haul trucks coming out and delivering parcels and stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's something different. But it's been funny because the last month I got my skid came in from LA, and it was 970 pounds, right? So my neighbors were all watching all these trucks coming to the house, and there was 5 of us living here. My oldest boy moved out, but there was 5 of us all in the house, and that the poor delivery guys were out there every single day dropping stuff off of my house. So anyways, the one guy from FedEx made a joke, and he goes, your wife's spending your money again. I said, yeah. I said, she gets a lot of little packages. I said, I got one big one coming. He goes, really? I said, yeah, 1 ton. What? I said, yeah. I said, I got a semi truck coming here this afternoon dropping off my parcel. I said, believe me, it's a lot more than my wife spent in the last month. But like with the online stuff, I'm getting more comfortable with it. It's not as bad because I'm not as nervous now. Before I was scared because you go and you buy something and you're worried. What if the connection gets interrupted and they get my information but I don't get my product or And now I'm getting a little more comfortable with it.
Well, I think the other thing is too. I think there was that. Then you also had the factor that if I buy like a shirt or a pair of pants or something like that, what if it doesn't fit?
Yeah.
Or even just the length of time that it would take for you to get it. And I'll tell you that all things considered, especially considering how many people were getting online stuff because everything is going on, I have to say that there were delays, but all things considered, the delivery time wasn't bad.
I found that too. Like most of the stuff, if you're ordering inside of Canada, and this is saying a lot, okay? Our country's pretty massive, for you guys watching the U.S. and stuff like that. It takes 5 days to drive from one side of the country to the other, and that's being polite because it's a 52-hour drive from where we are in Ontario to out west. Now that's not even going from the East Coast. So I mean, to go all the way across the whole country, it's a good
that's
span.
The thing. Well, even going through, if you're going from border to border, from Windsor to the border of Ontario and Manitoba, It's 21. I think it's like 21, 22 hours.
Yeah.
It's a long way.
Well, I know it's 52 hours. Where my brother's at in Fort Mac. Okay, that's northern Alberta. It's near Alaska, so the people in America that are following this kind of get a bearing on where it is. So if you drove from where I'm at right now to Alaska, you're looking at over 52 hours of driving.
That's a lot of driving.
Which, you know what I mean? Like that's a little too much for my taste. That's the time I say, give me a plane ticket, I'm gone. Because I'm not doing that.
No. And it's going to take you longer than that because there's no way that you could drive that straight.
No.
So you're going to have to take stops. So all things like you said, that's like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
Too much.
Yeah.
Like driving in the United States is enough. Like if we go from here to Florida, that's a couple of days. Like I drove to Georgia, and we were going to do it in a day, but then our car broke down in Lexington, Kentucky, and we had to get that fixed. And then we stayed overnight there, and then we went up the next day. But and that's another thing too. I'm just going to give a fast plug to a couple people in the United States. Kentucky is one of the nicest states. I've ever found in my life as far as the people go. When our car broke down, the state trooper zipped around. He did a big U-turn and he come right behind me, and I'm like, oh, good. He's going to give me a ticket for being parked beside the road. So, like, I can't do anything. The radiator let go. Everything's on the ground. I'm not going anywhere. He pulls around me. He says, what's the problem? And I said, well, my car broke down. And he looked. He saw my wife and kids in the car. And he says, I'll get you roadside assistance. And I'm thinking to myself, this is going to cost me. And I find out in Kentucky it's free. If your car breaks down, they'll come, they'll jump you, they'll pretty much do whatever they can to help you get back on the road. But I was just stunned because that state trooper didn't leave until that tow truck showed up. Like, I was amazed. Like, being Canadian, right? We go to the States and you see everything on TV and stuff like that, and you get a stupid perspective on what you think things are going to be like, but it's not the way you think. And when anybody from the States comes to Canada, it's not what you think either. No. Because they figure we're sitting around drinking beer, living in an igloo. That's not what's going on up here. It's a little different. But yeah, your perspective on what you think things are going to be and what they actually are two different things. Some of the nicest people I've ever met are in the States. And I wanted to plug one last thing before I give it back to you. Motor City Auto Spa, is in Michigan. Now, a lot of my customers used to come from Michigan over here, but because of what's going on, the border's closed and they can't get to me. And I just wanted to, give a personal thank you to Motor City Auto Spa because they've taken very good care of my customers that can no longer come here. And I reached out to them and and I said to them, look, there's nothing I can do. And that's one of the other things to get back to about helping each other. I mean, look, I could have, just let my customers fend for themselves, right? But I have a responsibility. These people have been coming to me for the last couple of years. And you know what? If you cannot physically help somebody, then at least be decent enough to pick up the phone or click on a messenger and get a hold of somebody that can help them. I mean, because it gets paid back. I know after this thing is done, I have every intention of going over and visiting these people face to face as soon as things calm down a bit. But you know what? They've done a phenomenal job, and thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. And I will forward this to you so you know how much I appreciate it. But yeah, I love the U.S.